La Buona Terra is a school farm. It was established at the end of the 1970s by a group of people who wanted to regenerate land that was abandoned over the years for different reasons. And they developed a school farm, which was the first in Italy. And it's very important in looking at a school farm, which also teaches young people about, and kids about production, that it's possible for them to see the beginning and the end of a cycle or a process related to food. So for example, when we have olive picking, when the olive harvest comes, the youngsters come and they learn what it is about how to harvest the olives, and in that process they help harvest, so taking down the olives from the trees, putting down the carpets underneath the trees, then bringing the olives to the olive mill, and in the olive mill they will make the olive oil, and then at the end of the day they will eat bruschetta or salad using the olive oil that they produce themselves. So the activities that take place on the farm are different based on the season, but since 2015 we're working mainly with young people, 15 to 30, and the activities are all related to farming and sustainability. So we're trying to do stuff in a not so conventional way. We don't want to teach conventional agriculture. And we host a lot of groups from different backgrounds. We host volunteers who stay for up to 12 months. Then we have other volunteer groups that stay for between 2 to 2 months. And they help out with the different activities depending on the season. That could be either rebuilding spaces or regenerating spaces on the farm, or harvesting in the various seasons. So for example, in the end of June, beginning of July, the lavender plants are in their bloom, which is the perfect moment to harvest the plant, the flowers, to then create essential oils, aromatic waters and dried herbs, which can be used in cooking. And as I mentioned before, also the olive picking for olive oil. And then we have activities which are more related to structure. So it's working on water recycling, rainwater harvesting, or eco-building, trying again to show not alternative ways, but solutions that could be adopted in everyday life. At the same time, apart from volunteer groups, we also host on the farm various NGOs that come for hosting their European projects. For example, there is Associazione Cora who come. If I look at Cora's projects, it's also a lot about sensitizing young people about food, both from a sustainable point of view, a lower impact on the environment, or reflecting on culture, because culture is also part of the reasons why maybe now we are over-consuming for some things. So Cora has a specific project where they try to get young people together, they cook and they teach their traditional recipes, and then they're asked to review them in a more sustainable manner. So eliminating some of the products within the traditional dish. And we want to give this reflection to young people, because traditionally we were not over-consuming, and these are traditional dishes. So how can we adapt or go back to what was the ancient knowledge and the traditional ways of consuming? We do depend on funding, and funding for children is actually more difficult than funding for young people aged 15 to 30. And that's very much thanks to the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union, which funds these projects for young people. So since 2015, the farm has been focusing more on 15 to 30 years old. It's also an age group in which there are a lot of mental health issues, anxiety, a lot of fear about what the future is. And we think that offering these projects to that age group is a way to show some form of hope for a future which at the moment looks quite grim. We want to develop a program that meets the need of the learner where they are, because school is always telling you this is the level and this is the level at which you need to work. Instead, for us, we need to be flexible, because we work with non-formal learning. There's a final goal and paths and outcomes we would like young people to learn when they come here. It's going to be different because every person is different, but the final vision of the learning outcomes are similar. Then it's, as I said, people are different and everyone's going to take away their own bit and piece from the farm. But I think that's the beauty, is that we're all different. It's a diverse world and we cannot all learn exactly the same things. It really doesn't make sense to me. We don't need to be made with a stamp. It would be beautiful if everyone, instead of being a stamp, is a different stamp. So we all have our own impact and think about that, and that's where the partners are really important. I know there's other projects like ours, other farms. I don't think we're unique. I do think that our space somehow is unique, and you have to feel that that uniqueness is something you want to develop when you're there, because the places are built by people, and everything that has happened here on the farm is built together with people who have come through here. So there's a little bit of intercultural personality, but there's also this space for growth, and we don't keep all the knowledge. We have experience, but we don't know everything. And that's why every place similar to this, or working in the same direction, will be slightly different, have different values or different clients. That doesn't really matter, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to provide a change and a solution. And this is where we're going. It's what our governments are asking for. We need to set the example. We have lots of wow moments. I would say there's a wow moment almost every day on the farm. Just yesterday, a new group arrived from Aros Imando Mondrian, and in the morning, he managed to plant 96 rosemary plants and almost finish a spiral garden. And that was done by young people who have not been here before, probably never experienced a farm. And they pulled up their sleeves and did a really good job. It's just the first day of the program. I don't know what's going to come out at the end, but it will be definitely a big, big wow. At the same time, there's another youth exchange that's working on upcycling and trying to create art. And I was just observing yesterday, and they, like, in a few hours, they recycled paper, built stuff with wood, and that was just a one-day thing, and they're creating amazing things. And it's all expression of the young people who come here. So there's a wow moment every day. Then there's also just wow moments in the development, individual development of people who come to the farm. Some who arrived and didn't really know what rural life was, and then completely changed their lifestyle. Only buying local products, or deciding to throw away most of their belongings because they felt that they didn't need to have so much. Others who struggled to be in a group and now are able to lead a group. So these are all wow moments, but wow moments can be anything, and it can be very small, and it can be every single day. And that's the way, it's the way that the drive that we get to keep on doing this job is the wow moments. I mean, it's a hard job, working on a farm, managing an organization. It's about passion. And if you don't have that passion, then you will not get to the end of the day, because some days when it's intense, you're working 15, 16, 18 hours a day, but you don't feel those hours. And that's the amazing thing about following a dream, a passion, and to keep it going.